And just like that, the exhaust is back on the bike. All right, I just finished applying the aluminum tape, so I think this will serve as a pretty good heat shield for the Yoshimura exhaust. Now, the hardware for the exhaust is still the rusty stuff. I haven't gotten new hardware for right here or a clamp yet, so I'll probably just use the existing hardware I have, and then when I'm doing the bolts for the final bolt kit and the fairings and everything, I'll come back and swap this one out since it's pretty easy to access. But for now, let's go ahead and try to mount up the exhaust. And we'll go ahead and pull the plug and get this guy hopefully fired up soon. And man, it looks great. I forgot how the undertail exhaust looked with it being off for so long. So that looks great. And like I said, I still have the rusty hardware down there that bugs me, but we'll get some fresh hardware eventually when we do the fairings. But now we can actually mount the rear brake and the rear sets now that the exhaust is back in place. And I'll probably do that before I move my way up to the front. But I think we might be able to start this thing tonight. Let's keep going. Okay, so we got the right side rear set all installed and everything looks great. The rear brake seems to function well. We got our switch there, and I'm ready to do the left side. And I'll probably leave this dangling, or maybe just temporarily mount it just for the time being, because we still have to install our chain, and we're waiting for the new rear wheel, which will require a tire, and the sprocket as well. So, but I believe we can still put on the left rear set. Now, anyone doing this, the most challenging part, in my opinion, was getting this guy out. It was a little stuck, so that took a little bit of time. But other than that, it was a pretty easy fix. So if you laid down your CBR and you need some new rear sets, this set was like, I don't know, 30 bucks or something on eBay, so really cheap. And definitely worth it. I think it looks great. So let's go ahead and move over to the left side of the bike and repeat the process. All right, we got the left rear set installed. Everything looks great. So I kind of did a little something. I hooked up the bank angle sensor as well as the gauges, and I tried to start the bike. And the first time it would not prime, which I thought was kind of weird, and the gauges were a little funky. And so I just did a little research, and I realized I had the bank angle sensor upside down. I didn't see the big up on the sensor. So as soon as I flipped it the right side up, it primed, everything ran great. And as far as the gauges goes, I just had to make sure that I pushed the connector all the way in. It wasn't seated all the way. And then the gauges seemed to work okay. So hopefully that's a non-issue. And yeah, so I'm really excited. I probably will hold off on doing a starting up the bike video until the next episode. Because right now I'd like to focus on getting more of the cosmetic stuff finished up. So I'm gonna do the passenger rear sets real quick, and then I'm probably gonna have some dinner, and then when I come back, I will focus on the front fairing stay and probably this left hand control. And that might take me into the end of the night. We'll see. Let's see how far we get. All right, so after swapping out the housings, not the gauge clusters, but just the housing, we can see what a difference it made. I mean, looking at this while you're riding, you can see obviously the bike was in a crash before versus this. We're getting back to close to new again. I'm really happy with how it came out. I'm not quite sure why this is so glossy on the back. This has more of a sort of a matte finish to it, but you know what? It is what it is. I think it looks great, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it mounted back up on the bike and test it out. Let's go ahead and test out the new gauge cluster cover. Maybe we'll even start it. I put the bank angle sensor here just so that it's in an upright position. Now see, it's been doing this. Bike will start. Hey guys, so it's the next morning and I ended up putting on the left hand controls to see if there was any short. I also cleaned up one of the grounds on the side of the frame, and then it hit me. You ever put your bike on a rear stand and if the bike's in neutral, you'll see the rear wheel just ever so slightly move just a little bit, and as it starts to, as the oil starts to heat up, maybe the wheel moves a little bit less. And if you give the bike some gas, the wheel spins just ever so slightly. Well, right now, we don't even have a chain on the bike, so there's no resistance at all. So that front sprocket is just spinning freely without any resistance, and the wheel speed sensor is picking that up as movement, and that's why the speedometer is showing speed. So when that hit me, I felt like an idiot, but I also felt pretty relieved. So with that being said, the bike is now tucked away, and I may try to do some editing, but I think we can wrap up this episode here. I need to get a few more parts on order. I think I'm gonna order a new front end. I need to check the status of my chain and sprocket kit that's being reshipped out here, and I need to get a new fuel cap. So I'm gonna focus on that. So for now, thanks for watching and checking out the channel, and I'll see you on the next episode.